If you've ever spent time working on a new business idea, you'll know just how exciting that can be. The passion, the hope, the what ifs, which is why if the time ever comes where we have to admit to ourselves that this new business idea or side hustle that we've been working on isn't quite panning out, it can be a crippling feeling, and to be honest, it can be heartbreaking. So how do we move past that? How do we keep moving forward? Well, stick around because I'm about to show you 6 super simple and practical strategies to get back on the horse and keep going forward. Hey guys, my name's Andy and welcome to the channel. So tip number 1, reflect on what went wrong. Take some time, think about what worked, what didn't work, because then you'll be able to use that new experience with the next venture, because there is going to be a next venture, right? Was it the wrong idea, or was it the right idea but the wrong time, or the right idea, the right time, but you weren't the right person to do it, like with your skills and background? If so, what area can you focus on which is a better match to your skills and knowledge and experience? Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn, right? Are you a better entrepreneur because you've done this business venture and failed than you would be as if you'd never done it in the first place? Of course you are. You'll be able to use this moving forward for future projects. Even if it doesn't look like it at the time, you will find yourself in a year, 2, 3 years down the line thinking back to this moment and going, oh yeah, I remember from this that this happened, therefore in this situation I'll do something slightly different than you would have done anyway. So look, you're better for doing it basically. Tip number 2, seek feedback. Now, there's going to be times where you've tried everything and you're thinking, I've done everything I was supposed to do. Why is this still not working? That's the time to seek some experience or some feedback from someone who's a little bit ahead of you in your journey or someone who has more experience in that area. If you know anyone that's doing something similar to what you're doing, but they're a little bit further ahead, just hit them up, ask them for a bit of feedback, say, hey, because it might be something very simple and obvious, and with the right feedback, targeted feedback, they might be able to just turn it all around for you. So this is something that I struggle with, and so with this tip, I'm pretty much talking to myself as much as I am to you, but yeah, seek feedback. Tip 3, consider pivoting. Pivot! If your business or side hustle isn't quite working, it may be worth just pivoting, and it might not even need a big pivot. Like you could just change the product ever so slightly, change the market that you're targeting ever so slightly, change the business model ever so slightly. And you might find that is just all the difference that it takes to then change it from a business that isn't working at all into one which is working. A good example of this is in 2013, a mate and I started a t-shirt business, and we were wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and we went out, bought the equipment, and we thought, wow, this is going to be amazing. We're going to be minted just selling t-shirts. And we were like, why is everyone not doing this? And it turns out everyone was doing this, and we just couldn't stand out in such a crowded marketplace. But what we eventually ended up doing is pivoting towards baby clothes, and specifically, like, you know, those novelty slogans that you get on babies' bibs and little baby grows and things. Now this is 2013, so that was not so common back then, and we ended up having quite a nice little business or a nice little side hustle for a year or 2. Same equipment which we already had, same software which we already had, same skills as well basically, but all we'd done is change the product ever so slightly and change the target market, and there you go, the business is working. By the way, if you are looking to build a side hustle or a small business for some extra income, then hit subscribe now and we'll take that journey together. Tip number 4, stay positive. You've got to stay positive, man. And I know that's easier said than done, and even the most optimistic people can lose all positivity sometimes. The way I try to do this is by changing my relationship with failure and just remembering that when you do fail, it's a sign that you were probably reaching for something that was a bit out of your reach, it was a bit out of your comfort zone. And that's good, it means you're pushing yourself, and that's how you grow. And if you're never failing, then it means you're just not trying enough cool shit basically. It means you're just standing still, you're complacent, you're happy with what you got. And in a world where everyone and everything else is moving forward, if you're standing still, you're actually falling behind. Tip number 5, seek support. And again, something I'm not great at, but it's very important. And I'm not just specifically talking about support for your business, I'm talking about support for you. And one of the best ways to do that is surround yourself by positive people. The last thing you want to do when you're feeling miserable is just go and hang around with other miserable people and just all wallow in your misery together, or sit alone going, oh, I'm crap, blah, 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 nothing's going to work, and just being miserable. The best thing you need to do is surround yourself with some real good positive support of people who actually want to see you win, right? They're rooting for you and they want you to see the win. Get support from those people. Tip number 6, do not ever give up. It can be tempting when things don't work to throw the towel in, and it's a normal feeling to want to give up, but you've got to be resilient and keep going. And that doesn't necessarily mean you've got to just keep hammering away on the one thing you've been trying to do, the one business idea you've been trying to do. You've just got to keep going. If it really doesn't work, move on to the next thing with your new skills, your new experience, and give that your best go and make that work. Remember that failure is a normal part of this whole thing, and do you know what? It's supposed to be hard. And if it wasn't hard, then everyone would be doing it, and then it would just be boring. And if you do find yourself thinking about giving up, like, oh, I'm just going to go and get a normal boring job, I'll just play it safe, then don't be too harsh on yourself, because I'll let you into a little secret. Everyone thinks about that sometimes. And every time you do find yourself at those crossroads, then you should just think to yourself, do you know what? Some people would give up at this point, but I'm not gonna. And the people that do give up, they're competitors that are now out of the picture. So you just got to keep going. And a lot of the time, if you just keep going long enough and hard enough, whilst being smart, then success becomes inevitable. If you want to know my thoughts on the best side hustles or small businesses to start for next to no money, then make sure you hit subscribe, because I've got a lot of videos in here that are going to be coming out there to you. So hit subscribe. If you appreciated this video, hit the like button below. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. We went for something a little bit different today. Really appreciate all the comments so far on all the previous videos and all the subscribers. Big up yourselves.